this Sunday finds us.
In Port Germein.
Let's take a look at how we got here.
We started the week in Riverton.
We left Balhannah and we were going to drive to Burra. But then we come across this, well, I reckon a beautiful little town called Riverton. They were having a living museum display, which only happens one weekend a month. So we stopped and had a look, and that convinced us to stay. And this is run the whole lot.
Run the whole lot, yep.
We're at Riverton Caravan Park, and we're moving on tomorrow, but just wanted to say this caravan park is a beautiful little park. It's only a small park, $36 a night for Howard and water. The amenities are spotless. There's green grass. It's so quiet. We're beside the main road. We thought it might have had a bit of road noise last night, but we didn't get any. Well, very little. But the location of the place, we went for lunch to, where did we go, Tony? Mintaro, which is just in the Clare Valley. And it's a winery, and it was absolutely beautiful. And then we went across to Clare, and Clare's a pretty big town. It's got everything you need. We drove past the caravan park and it was packed. Yeah. So if you wanted to go to Clare and be in the big caravan park, well, you can, obviously. I'm not the boss of you, but
or of the caravan
or of the caravan park. But this really hits everything that we needed. We got a few loads of laundry done at $3 a load, which is good. This is the laundry at Riverton Caravan Park. And Tanya, you're becoming an expert at caravan park laundries. How does this one stack up?
This one's pretty good. It's cheap, $3 a wash. It's clean, which is always a bonus when you come into a laundry.
We've had a great drive around. We've done some wine tasting. I'm not sure whether you can tell that. But yeah, it's a fantastic little spot, a fantastic little camp. And every little town that we've driven through today, and we've driven through at least half a dozen, and they're just beautiful little towns. They're all their stone buildings, and they're just beautiful. So if you're in the area, if you're thinking of going to the Clare Valley, really think of the Riverton Caravan Park as a nice little quiet stopover. So this is the entrance to the Burra Showgrounds. We were the third van here this afternoon. There now looks like,
well, there's quite a few.
I'm going with a lot. We're still by ourselves next to the pipe depot. Basil just looking magnificent. Gallivant just looking glorious. So we don't know whether where we're going to is South Burra, or it's just Burra and then North Burra is north of Burra, or whether there's a South Burra and a North Burra and a Central Burra that we don't know about. We're leaving the showgrounds and we're walking to the nearest pub. Alright, so we've been in the Burra for a bit over 24 hours. We stayed last night at the showgrounds, and today we went to the info centre and we got a thing called the Burra Passport. Can you explain what the Burra Passport is, Tanya?
The Burra Passport gives you a map, you get a key, and it takes you all around the historical sites of Burra.
Tanya and I have become temporary citizens of the Burra. We have our passports and we're doing the Heritage Trail. Now this looks fantastic. We will keep you posted along the way, but you get some keys, you get some padlocks, you get a map. Oh, this is going to be one of the greatest days of my life. Wow. Tanya?
I'm disappointed that this is going to be one of the greatest days of your life.
Oh, look, that may have been putting a bit of mayo on it. This is the Burra mine site, mine lookout. And this is an open cut mine, one of the earliest in Australia in the mid 1840s and 50s. And you can see it started its life as a underground mine. You can see all these beautiful old stone buildings on the distance, and this beautiful green water. I don't know whether it's healthy green water, but it's beautiful and green. Here's just one of the many lookout points. Bloody beautiful. These old ruins are just beautiful. I'll find another word for beautiful. Alright, so there's this thing called Morphets flew. Now, I don't know where they flew, but they might have flew this way. Can't get very far, but that's cool. With the passport, the Burra Passport, they give you a set of keys and allows you in gates to drive around instead of doing a lot of walking. But it also allows you in a couple of buildings, and the buildings are quite magnificent. There's a heap of information all about it. You get a booklet, you get a pamphlet. There's so much to read, but at the end of the day, these buildings, they are fantastic. And you get access upstairs. This is just getting better. Once again, heaps of information. But the timber work, the steel work, it's freaking phenomenal. It's fantastic. And the stone work, all the works. All the works. So this is the top. More information. And then that's incredible. That is beautiful. So that's what this house did. It pumped out water from the mines, and it's just fantastic. There's so much information here. I seriously could read everything and it would be a 15-hour YouTube clip. So I'm just going to call it now. If you can get to Burra, if it's near where a destination is, call in, because this is fantastic. This is the powder magazine. And this is another lock access or key access building. So this is where they used to store their gunpowder. I'm not sure whether the walls were put up to stop thieves or try to limit any impact of explosion if there was an accident. But seriously, 1847, the walls are as straight as they would have been in 1847. They're just phenomenal. Phenomenal. And as we go in, the dome roof, man, this is good. And they are some thick walls. The stonework is just fantastic. I mean, another word, like fantastic. Leave a comment below about a word I can use instead of fantastic. But until then, I'm going to use fantastic. With the Burra passport that we got from the info centre, it also gets you into a couple of museums. And this is the first one we're going to have a look at. And it's a museum about the Port mine. And we're going to go in and have a look. Already excited. Old stuff just makes me happy. So this is inside the blacksmith shop at the Port Mine Museum. Anyone that's ever been to a country town Christmas festival will also be excited to know that at Burra, Santa still rocks up on one of the fire engines. So we've had a walk around the Port Mine Museum. It is part of the Burra passport, and it's all fascinating. Just the buildings that just continue to blow us away, don't they?
They do.
Alright, on to our next venture. This is the Red Roof Jail outside of Burra. It was the first jail built outside of a metropolitan town in South Australia when Burra was the biggest country town. 1870. Part of our passport tour, we get to have a look. So the big high stone walls, glass. Now this used to house up to 30 prisoners, both male and female. So we've been checking out the old jail and the girls' reformatory. And yeah, as all old jails and places of rehabilitation, shit, they were sending some trauma out into the world.
They're very sparse.
Very. So we've walked into the old Unicorn Brewery, and we're just in the shed up the top. You can see you are here, and all those red marks are underground. So we'll go and have a look underground. Down the stairs. So this is a big open underground area. Hello, Tanya.
Hello.
Do you come here often?
No, because it's a brewery with no brew.
Oh. Is that what makes it a unicorn brewery?
Ah.
Like a fantasy animal type thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit narrower, but still a crouch, not a crawl. And each one of these little vents up the top. I'll show you the extraction fans that keep us alive. This is cool. I suppose one thing, if you do own a brewery and you live in a mining town and you've got underground cellars and you want to expand, you just go to your pubs and say, do you want to come and dig me a hole? And I imagine that the miners would be right up for digging a hole for a brewery. Burra Market Museum, and this is just out the back, just a nice little bit of water. We actually haven't seen water for a while because inland South Australia's bloody dry.
Yeah.
So this is another one of our Burra Passport key entries. So I think it's just going to be a shop. I could be wrong. I'll let Tanya do the honours. Get an honest reaction, Tanya.
Okay. My honest reaction is, oh, there you go.
Nice. To the uneducated people, you might think that's minutes of fun. This is going to give me 30 minutes of just great fun. How long did it take?
5 hours.
It took 5
We
hours.
did have lunch, but it was 5 hours.
Absolutely. And it was $30 a ticket.
Yeah.
So that's only 3 pints. And there's no way I could wait 5 hours to drink 3 pints. Can't even talk. But we've ended back up at the Burra pub, or the Burra Hotel. So, there's only one thing to say.
Up the Burra.
Up the Burra! The showgrounds that we stayed at, it's nice and quiet. It's $15 a night. There is a shower. The caretaker, well, not really caretaker, but the volunteer will come around and get some money off you at some stage during the day. Give you the code for the shower. There is only one shower, so you got to sort of keep an eye on who's going in, who's going out. And probably the only other slight knock on it is it can be a bit of a challenge to find a level spot to hook up.
Or unhook.
Unhook, yeah, or to set up. We were lucky. We got a couple of well, I reckon we got a pretty good spot. No, we did get a good spot, but when we got here, we were the only third ones here, so there was plenty of space to open. And throughout that day, would have been half a dozen people drive in and drive out.
Yeah.
Sort of drove in, had a bit of a look around, and didn't fancy the cut of their jib, and just headed off. But we stayed here for the 2 nights, and it was lovely. And there is power here. We didn't know it, but the pole next to us, which I'll show you in a minute, is a power, and there's power down there as well. We were right to camp where we were because we weren't plugged in. We still only paid $15 a night. If you do want power hooked up, it is $20 a night. So look, I suppose for the sake of $5, and you were lucky enough to get near power, you might take it, especially if it was hot and you wanted to run your air conditioner. I reckon those poles would be a premium. But yeah, that's our time in the Burra. Have you got a closing statement, Tanya?
Up the Burra.
Up the Burra.
Scott has driven 55 minutes from Burra to Peterborough. So we've gone from one borough to another borough. Different spelling. We are at the back of the hotel, which we haven't got the name of yet, which is not good. We're going to stop here just for the night, and we're going to go for a wander, get some supplies and see what's around town.
We're just leaving Peterborough. We had a quick stop over there. We actually had a free camp at the back of the Junction Hotel. And I'll tell you what, if you're going through the town, stop in the Junction Hotel. The fellas that run it, Luke and Adrian, fantastic hosts. We had a great time. Food was really, really good.
It was.
Tanya reckons her seafood pasta was the best pub meal she's had since we've been in South Australia. If you like trains, Peterborough might be the place to go.
A lot of engines.
A lot of engines, a lot of history with it being like the junction of where the gauges used to change for the Australian trains. Apart from that, there's not a lot to see and do, but you know, it's just a small South Australian town that you if you get a chance to support, pop in and support, especially the Junction Hotel.
Absolutely. We are in the middle of a gorge driving to Port Germein,
It is gorgeous.
and it is amazing. It's very slow going. But really cool. Oh, Winding Road ends in 3 kilometres. That'll be exciting.
We're all going to celebrate that. It is beautiful.
It is.
So we're at the Port Germein Caravan Park. As you can see, Basil and Sir Gallivant are just over there, and directly across from the jetty. It's $45 a night for power and water, but it's right on the ocean, right near the jetty. It's a beautiful spot. It's a small camp. Been around for a while. It's just a community run. This is the camp kitchen. A couple of barbecues. Very clean barbecues, but we've got a list of things they sell. Crabs are a big thing here, so they love trying to catch crabs. A book. Library, a couple of games. This lovely seated area, with grass. And over here we have crab shack. This is where you can cook all your crabs, clean all your crabs. Heaps of stuff in there. Got quite a few cabins. Don't know how much a cabin is, but you could have a look. And the amenities blocks are pretty new and they're spotless. This is the structure of Port Germein. Lovely little sheltered shed. And we're going to go for a walk up the jetty. Tanya is going to be our tour guide today. Say hello, Tanya. And she's earmarked four amazing things for us to visit around the Port Germein area.
I can't find the first one. There it is.
She can't. There it is. So look, I'm with you. I'm just as excited. I don't know what's going to happen. Look, if I could bait my breath, it would be baited. All right, so the first thing on Tanya's top 4 list is
The big thong.
the big thong, the thong, thong, thong. Now, number 2 on Tanya's top 4 is
It's the boat. The boat.
Now apparently this is the flood point for Port Germein. When it hits flood, the whole town population is going to cram onto that boat and sail away.
Yep.
Number 3 on Tanya's top 4.
This is the amazing artist sculptures.
Look, in the defence, it's actually pretty cool. The gremlin's awesome. We're at the last one of Tanya's top 4, and please explain what it is, Tanya.
This one is the old Burra Creek Bridge.
It is an old bridge, isn't
Now
it?
on Wikicamps, this was described as a cool bridge.
You know what? I think it's a cool bridge. I can see why they stopped using it. I'm going to jump in. Now that top 4 may not be a great representation of Port Germein. I've had a great time here. The jetty's wonderful, the caravan park's great. The Vietnamese, if you're going to eat in Port Germein, go to the Vietnamese. It was bloody beautiful. Really enjoyed Port Germein.
Yeah, I have to. I've liked it muchly.
Liked it muchly. There's some pretty strong endorsement from Tanya.
That should go on Wiki.
Yes. And remember, don't count the years.
Make the years count.